Hello Ratbags, it's Jade Plays Games. Welcome to the Sea of Thieves Starter Guide. This is primarily for people that have not really seen much gameplay and really having trouble getting to grips with the game. The game is fairly simple, but if you've not seen some of the little small tricks, hints and tips, you could be struggling and wondering what to do in the open world of Sea of Thieves. So come with me as I take you through solo play, lots of tips, lots of great guides. You can utilise this in multiplayer as well, but it's primarily for you solo pirates out there. So first choice, your galleon is for a full crew, multiplayer crew. Your sloop is going to be for 1 or 2 players. If you're a solo pirate, choose the sloop and obviously choose sail alone. Once you load in, you'll be in the Sea of Thieves world. There are lots of NPCs to talk to, mostly selling you cosmetic items for your guns, your weapons, but it's the factions you want to talk to straight away. These are the gold hoarders or the hoarders. They are going to be giving you your most basic, easiest of quests. Go and find some treasure chests and bring them back. They often give you map locations, they'll often give you the maps themselves, and it's up to you to go and find the treasure and deliver it safely without getting pirated yourself. All 3 factions give you free missions that are free to use. The next ones are the Order of the Souls. You'll find these. This is their flag. They're usually in a tiny little hut like this. They will give you kill missions where you have to go and find certain pirate legends and their crews and take them down. Once you've killed them, you'll deliver the skulls back to the bases to get rewards. However, it's not imperative that you return the skulls. As long as you've killed the pirates, that is all you need to do to really complete the quest. But by returning the skulls, you get bonus commendations and experience. Last up are the Order of the Merchants. Now these are probably the most challenging, I'd say, missions early on. They want you to go and deliver certain items across the map to other outposts. What makes it difficult or what makes it harder than the others is that sometimes when they're creatures or if they're a big barrel of dynamite, they can be destroyed or hurt or damaged and you will receive a lot less of gold when you deliver them. Now your gold does nothing but buy missions and cosmetic items, and that is all it does. There is no upgrades to your weapons or your armor, it is all purely cosmetic. Whether or not the game needs that, I don't know. Playing it early on, it does feel like it needs some extra additions. It would be nice to upgrade and put certain things on your weapons or upgrade your armors. But I also like the fact that it's a level playing field. No matter how long you've been playing a game or if you've only just walked in, no one's going to have any OP cutlasses or guns. You can also spend your money on stuff for your boats, as you saw there from the shipwright, but they're hella expensive. As you progress, you will earn more and more gold as you do more and more high level missions, but early on it is a grind like most games. It is going to take a while before you're earning the mega gold. You can hold 3 missions at any one time, and you will also gain additional maps while you're travelling through the world. You can change your weapons. There is a small limited choice between a sniper rifle, a blunderbuss and a pistol. I would always suggest have 1 gun and 1 sword because you can quickly run out of shots. There are the cosmetic items as well where you can change the title of your pirate. You can buy more titles. As you unlock achievements, they will give you exclusive access to more titles so that you can show your legendary skills. Once you get on your boat, that is the same thing. Again, you can change your weapons, and you've got your ammo box where you can replenish your ammo free of charge. You can only hold 5 shots for all 3 guns. It doesn't matter, it doesn't change anything. And down that below you will find storage where you can put planks of wood, bananas and cannonballs ready for later use. You can find all these resources lying around lots of the islands and even float in barrels going through the sea. So always keep them topped up, but don't go too mad because you'll often lose your ship in between battles, and it's not probably worth hoarding loads of things, hoarding loads of resources only for it to get blown up out of the water by some big horrible pirate galleon. Once you are loaded up though, once you're nearly ready to go, it's time to set sail and start thinking about ticking off some of these missions to get you used to the mechanics and the gameplay so that you can succeed in being a pirate legend. Holding the LB button brings up your radial dial where you can use different types of equipment and items, and you can utilise it in different ways. You've got your map, you've got your compass, you've got musical instruments, and you've got your resources to use as well. Sea of Thieves is an open multiplayer game, so expect someone to jump onto your ship at any time, just like these 2 Frenchies who landed on me in the middle of my tutorial video. All seemed well, and it may still be the case that when you come across some weary travellers, they may be friendly, but always be prepared. You never know when you come across a few trolls. These guys, as soon as we started to leave the port, decided to keep dropping my anchor, so I had to do the only thing I could, which was put a bunch of lead in their boat race. Usually 2 or 3 shots to a fellow pirate will put them underneath the sea, and 3 or 4 swipes of a sword will also finish them off. They can give knockback damage, so be careful you don't get put off your own ship just like I was, but don't worry, don't panic. It gives the perfect chance to show you what happens when someone steals your ship. Keep going away from it. The minute someone does that and you know you can't get to it in time, keep swimming the opposite direction. After a little while you'll come across this guy. The mermaids or mermen will transport you back to your ship, so you don't have to worry about anyone stealing it, and once you've teleported back onto your ship you can take revenge very easily. That's if your ship is still actually working. Now, to be fair, these guys looked like they were trying to bail the ship out, but I couldn't really understand. Better to be safe than sorry and meet them full of lead and a taste of your steel rather than worry about what they're going to be up to. It is of course a pirate game. You are going to get people troll you left, right and centre in this game, so if you're not up for that, maybe this game isn't for you. But if you want to be a true pirate, you're probably going to have to take part in that sort of action yourself. Just ignore my sunken ship at the bottom of the ocean. Unless you're halfway through completing a mission, don't worry if your ship is sunk and you get killed. You'll simply respawn on an island somewhere nearby and you can go about your merry way, carry on your mission, or go and get revenge on whoever took you out. Once you're ready to go, it's time to start thinking about navigating and utilising your ship in the right way. Down below deck you'll find your mission table where you can set what mission you want to try. On your own it simply starts the mission up, but when you've got a crew you have to vote on what mission you want to do. The biggest amount of votes obviously wins. When you have decided which one, go and check your actual map by holding RB and it will show exactly what the map is, or sometimes it's only a clue. It might even just be the shape of a map or the island and you have to find that shape yourself. It is very simple. There are no markers, there are no waypoints for you to just follow or any lines. You have to use the compass, you have to use the ship, you have to use the maps that are provided. You can set waypoints on your little map to give you a bit more of a visual indication by pressing the A button, and when you're good to go, either turn your lights on or turn them off depending on how much attention you want. Raise your anchor up and you're away to set sail. You just simply have to lower your sails now and you'll be going at some sort of speed. You can look at your map as well by looking over the rail, and on the big galleons, if you look through the grate on the top deck, you'll also be able to see your map instead of having to go all the way down. You can angle your sails. Most important when you're trying to escape people, angle it opposite way that the wind is going so the wind catches it and you'll see the sail bellow out. That will give you as much speed as you can possibly get with the sail going in that direction. Particularly if you can move the boat in exactly that direction as well, you will go at a really good speed. Keep checking your boat in the storms because it does take on water, and if you're really not paying attention you can actually have your boat sunk just by the water from the rain and the storm actually sinking it. Simply use your bucket to scoop the water out and make sure that there's no more water than on the very surface of the boat, and you should be fine to go about your mission. You'll have a good few minutes, in fact you have quite a while before it will sink on its own just from rainwater, but you never know, it can happen, and it has happened when I've left it running for a while. Once you've gone onto land you can now look at what weapons you've got, your cutlass and your guns, and take a look at the wildlife, including snakes that shoot venom at you. Be careful of these. There is nothing to gather or collect from any of the creatures that you can kill on any of the islands and in this world of Sea of Thieves, so don't bother, just run past them if you can. Obviously the skeletons will need to be taken out, particularly if they're stopping you from gaining any treasure, or they will just keep killing you like they did with me. You will find lots of skeleton enemies. Some of them are harder than others. There's lots of different tiers, lots of different types. Some are covered in gold or brass and will require 3 or shots to the heads to actually kill. Some will just need a hell of a lot more wailing on in terms of either not with the cannons like I'm doing here, or getting up and close and personal. It's a good idea to bring your ship very close to the island, close enough that you can aim at them with the cannons if you find in any of them a particular trouble. Skeletons cannot swim either. Use that to your advantage. Cheese in a little bit, but bring them close enough to the water so that they come in, and then you can go ahead and take them out. But save your shots for the ones that do carry the guns. I made the mistake there of using my shots on them ones when really I should have saved it for these next guys. The AI in Sea of Thieves isn't particularly that challenging or smart, but it's the sheer numbers that can swarm you, and before you know it, a few shots and you're brown bread. Make sure you're aiming for the heads as well. Headshots do more damage, so always take a bit careful aim. Whenever you come across some skeletons guarding their treasure, they normally spawn in different waves. The first wave won't have any guns, the second wave will have a mixture, and then the third wave normally again have a mixture, but alongside their leader. Use the environment to your advantage. Make sure you're hiding behind rocks, behind barrels, and that the skeletons have to shoot past each other before they'll actually do you any damage. Always take out the minions first and then go ahead toe to toe with the leader or the captain. Getting one of your 5 a day is really important, as well as your bananas will replenish your health, so make sure you always eat one in between battles and fights with the pirates. Normally taking around 6 to 9 slashes of your sword or a good 5 or 6 shots of your gun, you'll take out the captains, the skeleton overlords. Once that's done, you won't need to worry too much if it is one of the missions. You just simply bring back the skull just to get some extra gain or reputation and get some gold. Skulls and other loot can be dropped momentarily while you do other things like pick up resources or have to fight and battle other players or skeletons, and they will last quite a while if you place them somewhere. When you've got back on your boat, to stop other pirates from taking them from you, make sure you hide them somewhere. You can put the skulls or the chests in all sorts of places on top of your boat, hopefully making people not be aware they're on there. The best place is probably just the crow's nest, because it at least stops people and makes it a bit longer for them to get up there to get your treasure and your booty. Now, some of the missions will involve stages of 2 or 3 points, so you may need to go to 2 or 3 islands to complete the whole mission, particularly the ones that require you to kill different members of crews. It's up to you though. You can either store all the skulls in one go, or you can take it to outposts, and the same goes for treasure chests. If you've managed to get 3 or 4 treasure chests, you may want to go to any outpost at all to hand them in before you take on the last part of a mission, just to stop anyone from stealing your booty. The amount of gold you get for handing in these chests is as follows. The Castaway chest, you get around 100 gold coins. The Seafarer's chest around 200. The Marauder's chest around 400. The Big Captain's chest around 1000. The chest of 1000 grogs, which causes you to be a little bit drunk, around 1200 gold coins. And the chest of Sorrows, which is a very special one that cries filling your ship with water, around 1500 gold coins. These chests are all approximate. You may get a little bit less, you may get a little bit more, but that is the rough amount that you will receive. There are some other ones as well that you'll find in the strongholds. These can be around 2000 gold coins. There are some other slight variations like shipwreck chests and whatnot, but they are roughly the same of gold as the normal chest that you will find. The skulls that you hand in aren't as much gold. You get around 100 gold for Foul Skull, 250 for Disgraced, 500 for the Hateful, and 800 for the Villainous Skull. So quite a big difference between the top tier chests. So if you've got an option what one you're going to take in before you get killed, I'd probably go for the chest if you're looking for more gold. In many places in Sea of Thieves, you can kind of cheese the enemies and the NPCs. Just make sure you're always eating your bananas and make sure you've got access to lots of shots, and you can pretty much take down most skellies without any trouble. You do have a power attack. If you hold down the attack button, you will do a lunge. It's not the easiest thing to control, but once you master it, it can really stagger some skeletons off their feet and give you a really good fighting chance of taking them down without getting too much damage done to yourself. Like I said, use the environment to your advantage. Get between rocks and cliffs and try and cheese up against especially lots of skeletons. Particularly as when you're on your own, they will gang up on you quite substantially, and it only takes 2 or 3 shots and you will soon be brown bread and joining them. Here's a quick example of what to do with your loot once you've got it. Like I said, hide it around your ship a little bit more obvious or less obvious depending on what you've got. If you've got loads of treasure, it's a good idea to leave at least one chest on the deck so that people think that's all you have, and leave your most prized valuable possessions hidden somewhere safely else on your ship. Lastly, pay attention to the storms and the weather that's around you. Also make sure that when you're landing or docking that you're not damaging any part of your hull as you land. Frequently I've parked at an island thinking I haven't done any damage, and all of a sudden when I've returned my boat has sunk. Likewise, when you're in the storm, or the eye of the storm particularly, look out for lightning and look out for putting too much pressure on your wheel. If you're continuously turning against the wind, that can also put a hole or breach in your ship. as you can see here, the storms were pretty bad. It was starting to fill up with water pretty quickly because I hadn't noticed there was a big hole in my actual ship. So always pay attention. You're better off maybe docking while the storm rages on, or certainly making sure that you're always paying attention to your hold. And that is it. That is the basics of Sea of Thieves. A very basic guide to give you the heads up on what to expect when you jump into Sea of Thieves, or if you've been having trouble not knowing exactly what to do. Coming up, I've got a full guide on the skeletons and defeating the Kraken, as well as how to take down a fort solo. I'm Jade Plays Games. I will see you ratbags very soon. Make sure you've liked and you've subscribed for more Sea of Thieves action, and come and join me in my live streams. Come and join the ratbag crew very soon.